Good day, this is Online Professor and welcome to my online tutorial about factoring. So in factoring, we have different kinds of problems that we may encounter. So this kind of problem or expression, how are we going to factor this out? So we have the difference of a square. So this that's it. So you will just need to have this factor x plus y and then x minus y. This is the basic form. So to grasp this kind of form um, more, we will have this example number 1. So 9x squared minus 4y squared. So we get the square root of 9x squared. So what's the square root of this? That will be 3x. And the square root of 4y squared, since these two are perfect squares, so that's 2y. So if we are going to follow this form, the answer will be 3x plus 2y and then 3x minus 2y. And that's it. For example number 2, we have this 9 over 4x squared minus y squared. How are we going to get this? So the square root of 9 fourth x squared, that is 3 halves x. And the y squared, of course, that's y. So if we are going to follow this form again, the answer will be 3 halves x plus y times 3 halves x minus y. That's it. And we have, again, example number 3. So x squared minus 3 minus 36. So the square root of x, of course, of x squared, of course, is x, and the square root of 36 is 6. So our answer will be x plus 6 times x minus 6. Example number 4. We'll have 9 over 4 x raised to 2 minus 49. So how are we going to get its factors? So the square root of 9 fourth is 3 halves. Then x squared, of course, that's x, and 49, that's 7. Yes, you're right, that's 7. So 3 halves x plus 7 times 3 halves x minus 7. Next, next form is x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. That will be equal to, this is the factor. So this kind of form is perfect square trinomial. This is the perfect square trinomial. This is a square, this is a square, and we have this kind of form in the second term. So we're going to get this kind of factor. We only need to get the square root of the first term and then the square root of the third term, and then enclose it per parenthesis and then square this. So for example number 1, we have x squared plus 4xy plus 4y squared. The square root of x squared, that's x. The square root of 4y squared, that's 2y. So that will be x plus 2y squared. For example number 2, we have 9x squared plus 30xy plus 25y squared. Since this is given that it is a perfect square trinomial, the square root of 9x squared is 3x, and the square root of 25y squared, that's 5y. So the answer will be 3x plus 5y squared. Yes, and we have another example, example number 3. That's x squared plus 4x plus 4. So the square root of x squared, that's x, square root of 4, that's 2. So x plus 2 squared. And then we have 9x squared plus 30x plus 25. The square root of 9x squared, that's 3x. Square root of 25, that's 5. So we have 3x plus 5 squared. Then our next form is this. So in our previous form, we have positive or plus sign here in the second term. However, in this kind of perfect square trinomial, we have a negative sign in here. So if we have negative sign in here, we must also have negative sign in here. So then we will have x squared minus 4x plus 4. That will be x minus 2. Okay, the square root of x squared is x, the square root of 4 is 2. Example number 2, we have 9x squared minus 30x plus 25. So the square root of 9x squared, that's 3x, square root of 25, that's 3. And we have minus sign here, so that will be 3x minus 5 squared. Next is this per this is cubic form. The x and y has cubic exponents. So we must only get the cube root of the first term and second term and place it here. Positive sign, and then the squared form, that's of the first term, and then the squared form of the second term, and then xy, or the cube root forms of both of them being multiplied. And instead of having positive sign, we have negative sign. So for our example number 1, we have 27x cubed plus y cubed. So we will follow this rule. We will follow, or not rule. We will follow this form. So 27x cubed plus y cubed, that will be, so the cube root of 27 x cubed is 3x. Cube root of y cubed, that's y. So just like this. So this is our first. And the next is this form. How are we going to get this form? So 27x cubed, that will be 9x squared, and then this y squared here, so that, and since it is also y cubed, so that will be y squared also. Negative sign, and then the cube root of this is y, the cube root of this is 3x being multiplied, that will be 3xy. And that's it. That's our final answer for factors of this kind of expression. So for example number 2, we have 343x cubed plus 64y cubed. So what's the cube root of 343x cubed? So the cube root of 343x cubed is 7x plus 64y cubed, that will be 4y. And then following this, that will be 49x squared, and then this is 16y squared, and then we have negative 28xy. And then what if we have this kind of problem? So that's 8. Cube root of 8 is 2. Cube root of 27 is 3. So as easy as that, we have 3x plus 2. And then we have this form. We will follow again this form. That's 9x squared minus 6x. And then this, we have the cube root. The cube root of this is 2. If we are going to square the cube root, that will be 4. Okay, and then 348 cube plus 27. Cube root of 343 is 7. Cube root of 27 is 3. So that will be 7x plus 3. And then you follow this. Get the cube root of 343, which is 7. Then square it. That will be 49. Cube root of 27, which is 3. Then square that will be 9. And then that's 3 times 7, that's 21x. That's it. Here we have minus sign. Unlike this form, we have plus sign. So in this minus sign, we must copy the minus sign here, and then this will be positive sign in here. Okay, so our example number 1, we have 27x cubed minus y cubed. Cube root of 27 is 3, and then cube root of y cubed is y. And then we follow this, the cube root of 27 is 3, and then we have to square this, and that will be 9. And then cube root of y is y, square that will be y squared. And then 1 times 3, that will be 3. That's 3xy. Copying the signs, and then the negative sign. This is our final answer. Next is 342x cubed minus 64y cubed. How are we going to solve that? So cube root of 343, that's 7x. Cube root of 64y cubed, that's 4y. And then we follow this, the cube root of 343 is 7, and then we must square that, that will be 49. And then the cube root of this term, 64y cubed, that's 4, and then we must square that, that will be 16. And 7 times 4, that's 28. So that will be 49 plus 28 plus 16y squared. And that's it for our example number 3. We have 27x cubed minus 8. You can pause this video and try to answer this. So if you will arrive with my answer, then your answer must be right. And for the summary, we have x squared minus y squared. That's the form, the factor. This is the factor form. You can take a picture of this and save in your phone for your references. And this is Online Professor. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Good day.